This is Jan, and Ashley is
Hi.
helping out, and we have some interesting things to show you about Accuquilt today. Do you remember the good old days where if you wanted to have a shape that turned into an applique, you had to find the shape, and then you had to adjust for having a seam allowance that you could then press under without trying to burn your fingers, and then you would pin it onto your base fabric, and you would sit there with a needle and thread, and you would sew down this whole thing, and you didn't want the stitches to show, so you had to be really careful with it. My grandmother loved needle turn applique. She would sit in her chair. My mom would mail her some of the appliques, and she would needle turn them, and then she would send them back, and Mom would put them all together in a quilt. But I'm telling you, as much as I think that was fun for them, that's just not where I'm going with it. So we have an easier way. Accuquilt is that way. Look at this little pig.
Look at him.
This way you can cut out the pig with the die cutter. And just I happen to have one cut out right here.
Look at him.
Look at him, isn't he cute? There's no way I would have been able to cut that little circle
Right.
out of that pig's tail, because pigs have curly Q tails.
They do.
They do. And there's a lot of other design packs that of our Accuquilt dies that have small places on it, like these flip-flops. I can't really think I want to cut out those little straps.
Yeah, no thanks.
And over here on this plane,
Oh, goodness.
I mean, there's a circle, and then you've got the propeller and all of these little things. Look at this one. This is a specialty set.
Mm-hmm.
This one is by Edita Sitar, and it's this beautiful basket of flowers.
Oh, wow.
In here, you have all the dies you need. If you can see that, you've
Oh,
got
goodness.
the flower shapes and the accents and the basket, the butterfly, and all those things. But I would not want to have to cut all that stuff out.
No.
And the other thing that's great about it is when you do this, do you see right here what that says?
21 embroidery designs.
Free.
Free?
Free.
That's easy.
That means you have the way to pull that design from the Accuquilt website for any of these dies. I'm not sure if that one comes in the box with that one, but I know we can download these designs, and then they're free. You get a blanket stitch, a satin stitch, or a motif stitch, and then some of them have specialty designs, like Sunbonnet Sue and Sam. They have some where there are ice skates, and those can cost a little bit to do those, but there's always the basic ones that are free to you, so that you have an easy way to sew down your applique. So, shall we get started?
Let's go see.
Okay. First, we need to prepare our fabric for applique. So these are the dies that we used, and we are going to make the cute little truck and the farm animals. And I just went and dug in the scrap box that we have, because you know things come out all crumpled up, lots of wrinkles in them. But I have all the fabrics I need, the 4 different ones for this and the 3 that we need on this one. And I've already ironed some of it, so you can see it, of course, nice and neat with that Laura Star iron. But we're going to take this one. Let me show you how easily we can iron the wrinkles out of this. You ready?
Yeah, let's see it. Nice.
This is that grape steam that doesn't burn.
Nice.
And all of a sudden we have this perfectly ironed piece of fabric. So then the next thing we're going to want to do, of course I iron all of them, but I won't bore you with my ironing right now. We'll move this one over. This is the one I'm going to use for the chicken.
Cute.
Okay, so we need Applique Wonder. It is a Floriani product. It comes in these 2 different sizes. This one is, oh, I can't read the information here. This was an 18-inch by 3-yard roll.
Okay.
And this one is a 9-inch by 3-yard roll. And the reality is this isn't something that you're going to be hooping the whole thing. You just need the pieces to be big enough for when you cut out your animals or your shapes or whatever it is you're doing.
Perfect.
So those are going to be an important thing to have, and these are at a really great price. The big one's $31.99 and the smaller one is $21.99. And you can use it sparingly. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to use a scrap that we already had out, and obviously we cut out a circle with this one at some point in time. And I'm actually going to cut out quite a few because we're making some more samples with it. So I'm going to make sure that I have enough to cut out 3 chickens with it.
Perfect.
So I've got that on the wrong side of the fabric.
Okay.
Because we want the right side of the fabric to show, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got it on the wrong side of the fabric. I can trim this off if I'd like to. I do have some excellent Kai scissors here handy, so I'll just trim that because I don't want to iron that part to stick to the ironing board because I'm not doing an applique on the ironing board.
What?
What? Save your scraps because you might need something that only this little piece is necessary. Don't throw, that's valuable stuff. Don't throw that away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get this over here, make sure I'm not on the selvage, and I'm going to press this on. It is a fusible thing, and then whenever we get done with getting our pieces cut out, this peels off the back and it's sticky because then you can stick it onto the fabric instead of having to like hold on and hope that it's not going to get off or move a little bit with the movement of the hoop.
Nice.
How easy was that?
Too easy.
So it's on there.
Perfect.
I think we're ready to go cut. Of course, I'm going to do that to all of these fabrics, so I have it all ready for all the different animals and truck parts, but then we're ready to cut.
Perfect.
Alrighty, whenever you're ready to cut out, there's one thing that we wanted to point out before we get to that step. Make sure that you put the fusible side of your applique web to your fabric.
Okay, it looks the same though.
One side's paper. See, let me peel it so you can see. Whoop.
And so,
So this side's sticky, this side is fusible.
And so what happens if you iron it on the wrong side?
Either you've just fused something to your ironing board or you've just fused something to your iron.
Very good. Okay.
And then you end up with a mess that you have to clean.
Yes, that's true. So always make sure paper side,
Away from the fabric.
slick side up.
Yes.
Okay.
So whenever we get over to our die here, we've got our little cow and our pig and our chicken. And we've got our pieces of fabric ready to go. So I'm just going to, see, we're gonna lay our chicken on there, make sure we cover up his whole body.
Get over this way. I think I can see it better.
There we go. Make sure we cover up his whole body. Put our little pig on there.
And that has the applique wonder already on the back, right? Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
it sure does. And then we're gonna lay our little cow on there. We're gonna put our mat over the top.
Is it okay if the fabric's hanging off the edge like that?
Yes. Just want to make sure whenever you go through that it's not going to get caught somewhere and pull it wonky. So I'm just going to fold my little edge out of the way here. Make sure that whenever I push
Okay.
this through here.
And this is the electric cutter.
And I'm going to watch this tail of my chicken back here.
So it says it can do up to 6 layers, but you have to count that applique wonder as a thickness too, right?
And you have to think that there's the applique wonder and there's the paper on it.
Oh, that's true. So it's like 3 thicknesses at least.
It is.
Okay.
Slide that off. And we've got our little chicken. Oh, we missed one little thread.
One little thread.
There's our little chicken.
Okay.
Well, we're moving.
Okay, and there's a pig.
Pig.
Oh, how cute is that?
Isn't he darling?
And let's see the cow.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
And then you just move your fabric and go again.
Okay, so what about the truck?
Well, I wanted to show you another way that you can do it. Let me set this out of the way.
Okay.
And so on the truck, you know, we've got all these little tiny pieces. So we've got wheels and tires and the bumper and the windows.
So can you show me on the die itself?
Yeah. So on here, see all these teeny tiny little pieces.
Oh, yeah, because if you just laid white over that end, it would cut.
Yeah, you're
wrong
going to end up
color
with a
in the
white
middle.
tire and a white wheel, and we don't
They
want
should have
that.
put the white parts together.
I would think so too.
But they didn't.
So we've
you
got
just
little pieces.
you're
to
just
put over.
pre-cutting a piece to go on top of it. Okay, well that's smart. So you can make little teeny tiny scraps of fabric become appliques.
Oh yeah, really makes your little pieces go a long way.
Yeah, that's why we have that big bin of tiny fabric scraps, because we'll find a way to sneak them into something somehow.
Oh yes. So
Okay,
If
so-
anybody ever tells you you don't need your scrap bin, tell them they're lying.
Okay. So same process, going through. And then why do you give it some love?
Give it some love. Get rid of that static.
And then just slide it off.
Slide it off so your little pieces don't fly everywhere.
Okay, that's good.
And we've got a wheel. And you know, on this one you'd have to do a second cut because we need 2 wheels and 2 tires.
Oh, that's true.
So-
Because we're only getting one at a time, or we could have laid another layer on top of it.
Yes.
But we weren't that smart, so we'll get those parts cut out in just a minute. Oh,
How cute.
Yes, it is. So we just need to go back and do the other little section of it, right?
Yes, ma'am. We are shy a wheel and a tire.
We can do that. And then what's the next step after this?
Download your embroidery files and take them to your machine.
Okay, well, before we go show them how to do that, tell me, what is our special?
Well, everybody likes dies, right?
Right.
So maybe if you buy our little farm truck and our little farm animals, you get a mat for free to fit
I
down.
love it. So you buy those two dies, the farm animals and the truck, and then you get the mat for free. That's an awesome deal. Let's go show them how to download the designs.
Let's do it. Okay, so whenever you get over to the Accuquilt website, it's just accuquilt.com. You go up to your little search bar up here, type in the number for your die. So if we do 55187 and enter, it's going to eventually, so there's the die itself, but if you scroll down, they've got all these different, oh, nope, I don't want to get a coupon right now. They've got all these different patterns that you can use, make it a fire truck, but I just want the regular pickup embroidery designs. Click on that.
$0?
$0, it's free.
How cool is that?
They have the one with the blanket stitch, you can see there.
Uh-huh.
Little decorative stitches.
That's a motif stitch. Uh-huh.
And a satin stitch.
Oh, so you can have all three of them?
Yeah.
And so what about that fire truck? Was that like a specialty one?
Oh, I don't know. Let's look at it. Looks like, I wonder if it's free. You probably have to pay for that one. No, looky there. You can have a fire
Looky
truck
there.
for free.
You can have a fire truck for free. Well, somehow I'm worried that if we have a fire truck going to our farm animals, that means the barn burned down.
Right.
So let's just go to the regular truck.
Okay.
And then how would you download them?
Go to our truck. Add to downloads. And eventually your computer will work.
So it's downloading to your
And
desktop.
then you just click download pattern.
And then you just put the file
There
type
it
for
is.
your type of machine,
Mm-hmm.
which for a baby lock is going to be PES.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to download all the other ones because what did you tell me? When you unzip the file, it gives you all of them?
When you unzip it, gives you all of them. So you just
really
take the
only
ones you
need the ones that you need, because otherwise you just have a bunch of junk. Oh, let's get closer to that. So on this particular thing, we only need PES, which is
Mhm.
right there in the middle, right?
Yep.
Because if we have all the other ones on there, it's just kind of like clutter on our flash drive.
Exactly.
Okay. And then we take the flash drive and do what?
Take it over to our machine.
Let's do it.
Perfect. Alrighty, once we have all of our pieces cut out, it's time to get our designs lined up and get them ready to stitch. So over here, I've pulled up all of our designs. We decided to go with the blanket stitch. You could also do a satin stitch or a motif stitch that we showed you earlier. And I've just got them kind of placed on there how they fit. And I'm gonna scan our hoop in so that we can see where our little guys might fit around our little life is better on the farm saying we've put in here. Put our hoop in. Gonna scan, and it's gonna move the whole frame, take a picture of what's in the hoop, and put it as the background on our screen.
Okay, so this camera is exclusive to the Solaris, right?
Yes, the camera is on the Solaris, and then the Altair and Meridian have something similar, but it's in an app on your phone.
Okay.
You take a picture and send it to the machine.
Excellent.
So you can get the same end results, just a different way to get there.
Well, and it's also on the Destiny, and we have some pre-owned Destinies throughout the company, so if that would be an option for you, you might call your store and find out if that is something that you might want to get into.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I see it over here.
Yeah, so we've got our background pulled up on there. I'm gonna close out of this and move. We can see our designs a little bit high. It's gonna stitch over our lettering here, so I'm just gonna move them down. What you think? Maybe to the left a little?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay,
How's that look?
that looks great.
Okay. Once we go in, we're done here, so I'm going to close out of my little layout menu. It's going to show me the first stitch it's going to do, which is our placement stitch for our truck.
Okay.
Is this the color we need?
Yep, red.
Perfect.
For a red truck.
Press start. It's going to do our placement stitch. And I've already peeled the paper off the back side of our truck, so it's just sticky and ready to go.
You'll have to show me how easy it is to peel that off.
Yeah! I left the paper on the pig here so I could show you that.
Okay. Does it pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It does.
And so this is where you're going to put down your applique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no mistakes on that. You have the perfect outline.
Exactly.
And it's a very visible line, so you don't have to worry about, can I see it?
Uh-huh.
And is it okay just to go ahead and use the color you're going to be stitching it down with?
Yeah.
Because it's all going to get covered up with the blanket stitch pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Okay. So the next step is put this down.
Yeah, so I'm going to pull this hoop out just a little bit so you guys can see
Okay.
that. Just going to line up our edges here.
Well, that looks easy. Except you moved it.
Well. There we go. What do we think? Does that look pretty good?
That looks good. So what's the next step? Let's look over here on the screen.
It's going to do our blanket stitch around the top of the truck next.
Okay. So let's watch that one happen. And then we can
Thank
talk
you.
about how easy it is to get that paper off of those applique pieces.
Yeah, so whenever it's time to get to there, you just find a little corner that you can get started. If you haven't cut all your nails off, it makes it a little bit easier. There we go. You just peel your paper off, and now he's sticky.
Well, how cool is that?
You could put a pig sticker on your machine.
So on here, you have the pig above the truck. Actually, you have all the animals above the truck.
They're flying animals.
They're flying animals?
Yes.
Well, okay, a chicken has wings, but I don't think it flies.
Yeah, today it does.
Pigs fly.
Pigs fly, and cows jump over the moon.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. So let's see how this is looking over here.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, beautiful satin stitch. And then the next step is going to be a placement stitch.
For our wheels.
Well,
Or
that's
for
not
our
the-
bumper.
For your bumper.
Yeah,
So you keep going through all of these steps until you get all of them put on there.
exactly.
Well,
we're-
that's as easy as it can be.
Yeah.
So basically what is going on here is we have the ability to use our Accuquilt dies for applique.
To cut all our
And
little critters.
we don't have to try and turn under the edges and stitch it down. I know lots of people have done needle turn applique, and boy, that is not my cup of tea. My grandmother used to do it all the time, and of course she didn't have Accuquilt back then. So this would be a really great tool to be able to do intricate designs, and having the free files to be able to stitch it on your base fabric.
Can you imagine cutting out that little curly tail by hand?
No, it would not have a curly tail. Ashley, did you get it done?
I did. Look at it.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
We did our little blanket stitch around all of our critters. Decided to
Let's
make
get
it.
up close on that. Can we see that? Yep, that's adorable.
And we decided to make it a little garden flag, so
Oh,
you can
that's
hang
smart.
it outside our
That's
farm.
smart. And that was so easy. I mean, we did that in just a little bit of time.
Yeah, especially with those embroidery designs that we could just download. We did not have to stitch that by hand or try to
I
go
love
around all
that.
those curves on the machine.
I love that.
So I'm gonna set this down.
Okay.
And I want to remind you guys to like, comment, and share. And
Very
remind
good.
you
Yes.
that our special this week is if you buy your farm animals, buy your little farm truck, you get the mat for free.
That is such an awesome deal.
I want to thank you guys for joining us for this week's Knew It 2 here at Be So In, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye.
Bye.